Hello students, in our last class I have discussed regarding the first phase of nursing process, that is the nursing assessment. So in this class let us see regarding the second phase of the nursing process, that is nursing diagnosis. So, what is nursing diagnosis? It is a critical thinking where the nurse is using her skills to interpret the data which she has assessed or identified from the client, and that step it is used for or to write the complete nursing process. Okay, so that is known as nursing diagnosis. So, nursing diagnosis, which is the second step of the nursing process, where the nurses are using their thinking skills to interpret the assessment data. So if you're seeing the history, see the nursing diagnosis it start to do. So it's began in the year 1973, and we are following from 1973, we are following, and so many modifications have come in the nursing diagnosis. And finally in 1982, the conference group accepted the name Nanda North American Nursing Diagnosis Association, that is NANDA. Okay, so the nursing diagnosis now we are using it is Nanda diagnosis. So Nanda it means North American Nursing Diagnosis Association. Okay, and what is the purpose of this nursing Nanda nursing diagnosis? It will define and it will refine or it will promote the nursing diagnostic terminology so that we can generally use it in our nursing profession. Okay, so this is a small history regarding the nursing diagnosis. What is the exact definition for the nursing diagnosis? So, nursing diagnosis, it is a clinical judgment which is made about by a nurse for an individual or a family or a community according to their actual or potential health problems what they are having. Okay, so what is nursing diagnosis? It is the judgment made by a nurse regarding an individual or a family or a community related to their health problems. Okay, and that judgment it will be making into a statement, and that statement is known as nursing diagnosis. Okay, so the standardized Nanda names for nursing diagnosis are diagnostic labels, and diagnostic label it is consisting of the client's problem, and etiology is also there. Okay, so according to Nanda there is a two part is there in the nursing diagnosis, that is diagnostic label and the etiological part. So, what are the characteristics of nursing diagnosis? Only the registered nurses are responsible to make the nursing diagnosis. And nursing diagnosis, it is including only the health states which the nurses are licensed to practice. Clear? And the third one is that it is a judgment made only after the thorough systemic data collection. Understood? So, what are the three characteristics? Number one, only registered nurses can able to make the nursing diagnosis. Second one is that only educated or licensed nurse can able to make the nursing diagnosis. Third one is that before you are making a diagnostic statement, a clinical examination along with the systematic data collection has to be done. So moving on to the next slide, that is types. Number one, it is actual diagnosis. So what is actual diagnosis? At the time of assessment, what problem the client is having. That is termed as actual diagnosis, such as ineffective breathing pattern, anxiety, etc. Next one, it is a risk nursing diagnosis. Whenever you are making a nursing assessment, that time you're finding that the patient is at risk of anything. It could be an infection, it could be a fall or anything. So that type of diagnosis it is known as risk nursing diagnosis. So whenever the nurse perceives that there is a risk for anything and she is writing a nursing diagnosis related to that, that is known as risk nursing diagnosis. So for example, risk for infection. Third one, it is wellness diagnosis. What is wellness diagnosis? See, the client, every client will be ready to have a wellness in his life. So that readiness for enhancement or that readiness for wellness in an individual or a family or a community is known as wellness diagnosis. Example, readiness for enhanced family coping. The fourth nursing type of nursing diagnosis, it is possible nursing diagnosis. So possible nursing diagnosis is one which evidence about a health problem that is incomplete or unclear. Some problem is there, but it is very unclear to the nurse. She cannot able to get the exact etiology or exact problem. So that type of nursing diagnosis is known as possible nursing diagnosis. And in possible nursing diagnosis, the nurse should search for more data, more supportive data, so that she can able to accept the nursing diagnosis, or she can able to refuse it or clear it out in her coming nursing care plan. Clear? So example, if you are seeing possible social isolation related to unknown etiology. Next is syndrome diagnosis. What is syndrome diagnosis? Whenever the nurse is finding out a number of risk factors or number of signs and symptoms, number of problems, whenever she is identified that type of diagnosis, and whenever she's writing a diagnostic statement, that is known as syndrome diagnosis. Okay, so if you're seeing the example, risk for disuse syndrome. So risk for disuse syndrome, it means the client is having impaired physical mobility, impaired tissue integrity, activity intolerance is there, risk for constipation, risk for injury, risk for infection, impaired gas exchange. So many diagnoses are associated with a particular etiological factor. And whenever the nurse is writing risk for disuse syndrome for a long-term bedridden patient, it is understood that the client is having this all risk factors, or it is associated with all this cluster of diagnosis. Clear? So these are the type of diagnosis. So what are the type of diagnosis? Actual diagnosis, which means at the time of assessment, what problem the client is having, the nurse is notifying it. Second one, risk diagnosis. Actually, the problem is not existing, but in future there is a chance of developing that particular problem. It is known as risk nursing diagnosis. Wellness nursing diagnosis, it means that how the individual is responding to the enhancement in his life. That is whenever, such as family coping, and also that type of diagnosis is wellness diagnosis. Possible nursing diagnosis, as the nurses, some problem is existing, but the nurse is not having adequate data to support it. Either she can able to include it in the nursing care plan, or she can refuse it. That type of nursing diagnosis is possible nursing diagnosis. And the last one, syndrome nursing diagnosis, which is termed as whenever there is a cluster of diagnosis, we can able to write the syndrome diagnosis. So let us see regarding the components. So there are three components, that is problem and definition, etiology, and defining characteristics. So what is exact problem or definition, which is also known as diagnostic label? It is mentioning or clearly stating what is the client's health problem in a clear and concise manner. Okay, whenever the client's problem is written in a clear and concise manner, that is known as diagnostic label, and it is the first component in the nursing diagnostic statement, that is problem or definition. Okay, and whenever you're writing the problem or definition, you can use some qualifiers. Okay, so what are the qualifiers? Qualifiers means it is some words which is added to the nursing diagnostic statement, so that we can able to give the additional meaning to that. Okay, so for example, if you're writing the patient is having knowledge deficit related to the medications, so the qualifier word we have put here is deficient. Okay, deficient knowledge related to medications or regarding medications. Understood? So here the word deficient, it is the qualifier. So another example is also there, that is impaired, decreased, ineffective, compromised. So these all words are known as qualifiers. Okay, and we should use qualifiers in our problem or definition or the diagnostic labels. Second component, it is risk factors or related factors, which we'll call them as etiology. Okay, it is the exact cause of the health problem. Okay, so the cause of the health problem we will be writing as etiology in the diagnostic statement. And the third one is defining characteristics, and it is nothing but what the signs and symptoms the patient is having, that is also mentioned in the nursing diagnosis. So cluster of signs and symptoms that indicates the presence of a particular diagnosis, we will call it as defining characteristics. So these are the three components of the nursing diagnosis: problem and definition, etiology, and defining characteristics. So if you're seeing an example here, see, activity intolerance related to the immobility or bed rest, verbalized by, so as evidenced by the verbal report of fatigue or weakness. So if you're seeing activity intolerance, it is diagnosis or the definition. Related to what? Related to immobility, that is the etiology. And what are the signs and symptoms the patient has reported to you, like fatigue, weakness? When you have observed the, like we got the normal heart rate, ECG changes is there. So these are the signs and symptoms. Okay, so when these three are written together, so these three should be composed, and then we will get the nursing diagnosis. So next is, what is the difference between the nursing diagnosis and medical diagnosis? Always the nursing diagnosis, it is a statement made by a nurse, by her education or by her experience, by her expertise. But medical diagnosis, it is always made by a physician, and only physician can treat the medical diagnosis. Next one, nursing diagnosis, it is always describing the response of a human related to the health problem. But medical diagnosis, it is referring to the complete disease process. Okay, the third one is that as the client's response changes day by day, nursing diagnosis will also change, but medical diagnosis, it will not change. As soon as the disease is present in a client, then it is remaining the same, it will always remains the same. Understood? So let me give you an example, that is, whenever the patient is having a typhoid, okay, so typhoid, it is a medical diagnosis, and in the typhoid there will be alteration in temperature, impaired temperature will be there. So impaired temperature, it is a nursing diagnosis. After 2 days or after the first day, whenever you are giving any antipyretic drug, then the temperature has come down, then you can change that diagnosis, that is impaired temperature, you can able to change it. But as long as the patient is having the related signs and symptoms, the disease will be there remaining the same, that is the typhoid. Okay, so this is the difference between the medical diagnosis and the nursing diagnosis. So next is the diagnostic process. There are 3 steps in the diagnostic process, that is analyzing the data, identifying the health problem, risk and the strength, and formulating the nursing diagnosis. So everybody knows that analyzing the data, which we have done in our nursing assessment also. So analyzing the data means after collecting the information from the client, the nurse should compare the data with the standards and the norms. She has to recheck the data, such as normal vital signs, growth and development patterns, everything she has to check out. If any inferences or any doubt is there related to that, she have to recheck it. Okay, so before making the nursing diagnosis, the first step is to analyze the data. What information has collected from the client, that has to be rechecked, analyzed further. Next is identifying the health problem, risk and the strength. So whenever you are making a nursing diagnosis, you should first determine what is the risk in that, and whether the client is having some strength or some weakness or not, so that according to the strength of the client, we can able to change the nursing diagnosis, or we can able to modify the nursing diagnosis. Okay, so that identifying health problems and risk factors is necessary. See, some clients will be there, they will be having strength in some parts. So for example, if you are saying A client's strength may be weight that is within the normal range of age and height. So that within the normal range, if the client is having the weight, that will enable him to cope up better with the surgical procedure. Okay. Sometimes if the client is having an allergy, but whenever he is a non-smoker, understood? So if he is a non-smoker, it is helping him to reduce the signs and symptoms of allergy very soon. So that is his strength. Understood? So whenever we are changing, or whenever we are making the nursing diagnosis, we should find out what are the strength of the client, and so that we can able to modify the nursing diagnosis. Next one, formulating the diagnostic statements. Diagnostic statements can be written as a two-part statement or a three-part statement. Two-part statement, it includes only problems and etiology. Problem is the client response, etiology is the cause. Okay, and these two parts, that is the problem and the etiology, it is related by the it is joined by the word related to. Clear? We should not use the word due to, we should use the word related to. Understood? So if you're seeing an example, constipation related to prolonged laxative use. Understood? Next one, severe anxiety related to possible cancer diagnosis. Understood? Here severe anxiety is the exact problem of the client, and possible cancer diagnosis is the cause. She is having anxiety related to the possible diagnosis of cancer. So these two parts, that is severe anxiety and possible cancer diagnosis, this can be joined by the word related to, then that will give rise to our diagnostic statement. Three-part statement, that is PES format. It includes all the three components, that is problem, etiology, signs and symptoms. Okay. So if you're seeing this example, situational low self-esteem related to feelings of rejection by the husband as manifested by hypersensitivity to criticism. Okay. Here if you're seeing situational low self-esteem is the problem of the client, that is related to the cause. So what is the cause here? Feelings of rejection by the husband. And how the nurse came to know that whenever we are criticizing that woman, she is hypersensitive to that. She is very sensitive to that. Understood? So this hypersensitivity to criticism is the signs and symptoms. So we can write the three-part statement or the PES format like this. That is, number one, it will be the problem, first component, which is related to the cause, second component, as manifested by. Okay. So here the related word here is, or the joining word here it is, as manifested by the signs and symptoms. Okay. So if you're seeing actual nursing diagnosis, risk nursing diagnosis, all this nursing diagnosis can be able to be written in the three-part nursing diagnosis. But if you're seeing one drawback is there, that statement will become a lengthy statement. That is the main drawback of the three-part nursing diagnosis format. Sometimes one-part nursing format is also there. That is, usually the wellness diagnosis and the syndrome diagnosis are written as a one-part statement. Okay, that is only the exact problem or what we want to become, or the specific one, the specific intervention only will be there in the one part. For example, readiness for the enhanced parenting. Okay, so wellness diagnosis or syndrome diagnosis will be written as a one-part statement. Okay, so formulating the nursing diagnosis, we can formulate in three. That is, basically we are using two-part, three-part, and sometimes we can able to use one-part statements also. Next, if you're seeing the guidelines for writing the nursing diagnostic statement, always the statement should be in the terms of the problem, not in the need. For example, if you're seeing the correct statement, it is deficient fluid volume related to fever. It is not in a need format. That is, it is incorrect when you write fluid replacement. Actually, fluid replacement, it is the need for the deficient fluid volume. Okay. So we should not write the need, that is fluid replacement related to fever. That is an incorrect statement. The correct statement is whenever you are stating the terms in the problem. Okay. Next one, only use non-judgmental statements. Okay. So spiritual distress related to inability to attend the church, secondary to the immobility. Or if you are writing spiritual distress related to strict rules necessitating church attendance, that is, as here if you are telling as a judgmental statement like hospital policy is not allowing the patient to attend the church facilities. Okay, that should not be done. Next one, make sure that both the statements of the statement do not say the same thing. That is, the related part, the components, the problem and the cause should not tell the same thing. Risk for impaired skin integrity related to mobility is the correct statement. Impaired skin integrity related to ulceration of the sacral area. Both are see, impaired skin integrity, ulceration of sacral area, both are having the same meaning. Understood? So our problem and the cause, it should be different. Response and the cause here it is same. Next one, using nursing terminology rather than medical terminology. Always use a nursing terminology. See, if you're seeing ineffective airway clearance, this is the nursing terminology. But pneumonia, if you are using the term pneumonia, it is a medical terminology. So in our nursing diagnostic statement, we should always refer the nursing terminology and use nursing terminology rather than medical terminology even in the cause and in the response also. Okay, so if you're seeing here accumulation of secretions in the lungs, so this is the nursing terminology, but the same is there, it is emphysema. Emphysema, it is nothing but secretions in the lungs. So emphysema is a medical term, accumulation of secretion in the lung is a nursing term. So we have to use only the nursing terms. So these are some guidelines whenever we are writing the nursing diagnostic statements. Okay. So in our today's class, we have seen regarding what is nursing diagnosis, what are the types of nursing diagnosis, what is the difference between medical diagnosis and nursing diagnosis, what are the components of nursing diagnosis, what is the step in writing a nursing diagnosis, and what are the guidelines of the in writing a nursing diagnostic statement. Thank you.